The lines become fuzzy as my vision grows dim, and I come to see my world with new eyes. These eyes don't see the river's edge with its sparkling waters and honeydewed mountaintops, springing from this peak to the next. It is a blinded sight that gives way to the sinewy decadence of an unknown reality that will prove to cement a fate that has nothing to do with me. The scales cause inner abrasions to form under my eyelids, resulting in scarred perception, reciting to me its song of false humility, honor, and pride, to stifle the facade of degradation that serves to remind me that reality is perception. I am now distracted by the blood that is pumping through my veins and the arid condition of the waters of my soul, so I aimlessly search in the dark for some semblance of a past reality. I strain against the pounding in my ear and hear the faintness of a familiar sound. I smile so hard that it breaks through the barricade that bred flesh traps to poison the vine so brutally cut down. I smile as I realize that the root remains intact. It resprouts hope within the earth of me, and I laugh so hard that it propels me on my feet. I am no longer crawling and eating dust, but wobbly standing on my own feet as the oaks cheer me on from their riverside perches, imploring me to not only look, but to see what is right before me. As it was in the beginning, it is now, and ever shall be, worlds creating worlds, bred in the fabric of division and opposition, while the root remains secured within its immaterial framework of true resolve, beckoning those grafted within her to embrace the same. It is the opportunity of a lifetime, only I fail to remember the sign that was given to me. I will say it again. I purpose to hold on to this truth as I pass the connecting path that once led me to the zone I am headed to. I relish the opportunity to revisit this old familiar place, but the growing desire to see the visual reminder of a time past is embodied in a fear that is new to me. As foreign as it appears, curiosity gets the better of me, and I stop to examine its contents. It is only too willing to engagingly distract me from its counterpart, which stands in the wings, waiting for me to get a full dosage of this newfound dimension of what I already am. I pummel down the stone stairs, replete with dungeons, caves, and booby traps, tossing me from wells of redemption to catacombs of dismal array. The journey is mine to take, holding the hand of that old familiar traveling companion, remaining fixated as I am tossed to and fro, in and out of consciousness, to rest in the arms of destructive vices that drink the blood of unsuspecting victims of times gone by, while wisdom lurks as the voice of remembrance. I rounded the bend in the road and came to a gate that ran the circumference of the cliff, spiraling upwards. If I just retrace my steps, I should arrive where I began, but I begin only to find that the landscape has changed, much like the voice uttering my name. I give up on retracing and embark on a new path of discovery to regain what I seem to have lost. This time it will beckon me and not the other way around. The reminders become less consistent as my voice becomes clearer. New feet step on old stones to reach the point of no return. I soothe my wounds with bedtime lullabies that cry me a river straight to this familiar abyss. I sit here in patient agony, hoping to gain a deeper insight because I seem to have misplaced the compass that I was given. The merchants are only too willing to sell me more innovative versions, and so I settle for a manufactured replica of truth. There are so many lovely faces with so many beautiful stories. The list goes on and on. I begin to seek my next fixed in the next opening line to tell me who I am. The words now escape me, and the vision takes a commercial break to allow my senses to be prodded and tested to the point of televised static with "We interrupt your regularly scheduled program," followed by the end. I enter the gallery of self-denial to embrace the reality of wares paraded before me, enticing me to divulge a secret that has yet to be revealed. The desire to produce the unknown envelops me to the point of sweating blood, bursting blood vessels in the hopes of being pitied and allowed to pass through. It does not pan out as I had anticipated, though goodness and mercy follow me. I am forced to reconcile the inner and outer voice, with no road map to lead me in full discourse, having lost sight of my inner compass many whiles ago in exchange for visions of grandeur. The voices are hazed by the flowery presentation of a candelabra that was constructed to dispel the truth in the hopes that a spark of light would encapsulate my textbook prodding, narrowing my scope of unfamiliar territory. I become further entrenched in waves of wardrobe-changing episodes. The synergistic claim embodies the essential element clothing an eternal servitude to an existence that purports to solve dilemmas, while giving ways to paths of greater depravity and valleys replete with mirages. I long to find some shred of truth, an ounce of dignity, to allow myself a thread of pride to hang on to. I continue to amass shells of personalities that further malign the hue that remains seated in quiet resolve until the time when provision runs dry and new waters are sought to soothe the never-ending thirst collected in the aridity of people, places, and things. For now, denying that there exists such a place where I am solely connected by reasoning is an illusion that I have concocted to garner more knowledge. The knowing will suffice. Desire compels me to invest more time in the pursuit of some form of happiness that would alleviate this burning within me, searing through me to the point of hollow protrusion, in the hopes of filling it with the splendor of jealousy, anger, envy, wrath, and rage for the moment. I see in the distance a far cry like a beacon. My feet have grown weary from the constant traveling in circles that have become commonplace. I stop to rest a while. I indulge my senses as best I can, yet sense an invasive force searching for the missing link to a puzzle that has jigsawed out of sorts, its pieces scattered amid the desires, needs, and demands of others who too have chosen denial as a bridge to the unknown, while making peace amid chaotic confusion as not to appear needy or lost. Pride will do that. Turning a deaf ear serves its purpose to its full measure until you can no longer ignore the gnawing from within. You desire more and more to return to a place that you once knew, but the demands that have emptied leave no room for quiet reflection. One lumbers along with limbs that are in need of reconstruction, denying the pain and heartache to glean another angle of misplaced reality. I have become institutionalized in a body of beliefs that exists outside of me. I have practiced their teaching so long that I no longer separate but conjugate into a soliloquy of dogma that begs to be entertained. So I perform as best I can, and like anything, over time, become skillful at performing and reciting at the expense of my own well-being, my own truth buried under the systemic poltergeist that noisily enslave, entrench, and captivate in a slow, methodical tenet of candy-coated alibis, sugar-laden deceptions, steeped in sweet nothings. The decay that results in metamorphic catastrophe catapults me into dimensions of reality that require a sole focus to the denial of all else. One step forward and two steps back, in deciphering a code that is invisible to the naked eye. Self-denial was a necessary component to my arriving at this place, at this point, in order to engage deciphering. It was the key to unveiling the naked truth of a reality that was smothered in dictator style to quell the fire that was sparked for new territories. I take a step, and applause erupt in all spaces and time. I don't hear them. I am listening for a particular sound that I will know when I hear it. Having all and possessing nothing. To be soundly seated in perpetual peace, to be fully engaged in inner conflict to the detriment of the outer condition, to be inundated with details to the point of vision loss, fumbling in the dark with no glimmer of light. Having extinguished its spark in the hopes of fully understanding this anomaly that dares to darken my doorstep with its jargon laced with hypocrisy, I am hypnotized into doldrums of epic proportions as I succumb to its degradation.